It was now the summer of 1982. Freedom was in the air. Dad had a midnight radio that he would usually listen when everybody was asleep. But Dad's secret radio is no longer secret anymore. Dad's little speaker box opened up a brand new world. From Kumbaya to the pop charts. This was heaven. Captain Sensible, Happy Talk. That was my first favourite song. And when it went to number one, I was ecstatic. It was as if it was because I liked it.
I thought, if this was evil, I never wanted to be good again.
Dad, he smuggled home our very first TV. We plugged it in and we waited to be contaminated by this pipeline of filth, to be contaminated by the world. But I had to wait until the summer was over and the new football season had started. My first match at Anfield. The roar of the Kop singing "You'll Never Walk Alone" was unforgettable. And then those very special Thursday nights with my very special tape recorder, when you press play and record together, you could capture each song in time for it to start and in time for it to finish. And finally, I had a best friend who only knew the world, never knew about the cult. Finally, I ate worldly food. I felt like a normal kid. The great escape was finally complete. And this is what freedom tastes like. A burger from McDonald's. The next great thing was a holiday. Not a preaching visit, but a holiday in the real world. Our first holiday was a caravan site in Wales. Swimming pools, arcades, discos, a whole new world. Visiting Auntie Velma in Southend and Uncle Bill, who looked like Penfold from Danger Mouse, and he ate like a horse. I laughed when they did the organ duet concerto. It was hilarious. And then I got the chance to spend some real time with the people at school. A school trip to Colomendy, which meant my first disco. I remember the room was alive with loud music and flashing lights. I recall driving down to Southend Promenade with the windows open of my auntie's car and the sunroof back and music blasting. I had never heard quadraphonic music in this little car blasting from 4 speakers in this way. Pure freedom. And every Thursday I recorded Top of the Pops. Pressing that record button also felt like freedom. The curse of the cult still lingered, but my new world was bright, but not without its shadows. The pipeline of filth. It was 1984. I was getting used to watching TV every day. What I didn't realise is no longer brainwashed by the cult. I was being brainwashed by this little square goggle box, and for a season, Liverpool exploded onto the small screen in a way like it never has done since, with Brookside and The Tube, with Liverpool bands like Frankie Goes to Hollywood and other series like Bread and Boys from the Black Stuff, Scully. It was an amazing time, and when Liverpool was celebrated through Frankie Goes to Hollywood, first number 1 called Relax. I celebrated. Little did I know then what the real meaning of that song was. But on the flip side, this glowing little box soon betrayed me. I'd grown up in the cult, being peddled with the idea that the end of times was coming, and now I was starting to see it play out on this little white box. Brainwashed by the cult, now brainwashed by this little TV in the same way. Broadcasted a world of endless wars, starving children in Ethiopia. Then there was AIDS, people dying from having sex, and the idea of seeing cartoons and films reflect a nuclear strike, the flash of an atomic fire. And then my favourite game, the beautiful game, turned into a nightmare. Heysel Stadium, 39 innocent souls crushed to death. And then it wasn't even safe to go to a football match because of football hooliganism. And as I watched this television, every song whispered of impending doom. Many movies showed a dead, irritated wasteland, or the close call of a nuclear attack. My childhood imagination became a prison of absolute panic. The screen's pipeline of filth, which is what the universal cult leader called it, never stopped peddling this dark side to this world that the cult once spoke of. It stole my sleep, poisoned my dreams, and left a terrified, broken boy staring into the abyss, wondering, were the cult right? Was I not only on my way to hell, but that destination would be raising its head anytime soon in the form of a nuclear war and the end of the world? In my little childlike mind, I thought death could happen to me at any time. When we left the cult simply wouldn't leave us, and its curse returned again, as it would many times hereafter. This time, they came for my father. The cult found us, and they accused Dad in front of everyone. They wanted justice for an amount of money he took, although he had paid it back. They had sent him to a bedsit, and now they wanted to send him to jail. A second time, they took my dad away. The second arrest wasn't a bedsit, it was a real prison. He was found guilty for fraud. The psychological effects hit me hard.
We couldn't stop crying. The anxiety grew, and the loss consumed me. The house, it just felt so empty. But when Dad returned, he was finally back in my home, finally back with me. Finally. Together again, I would never let him go. I had my dad back, and I was excited for life again.
For a season, it felt like life was brand new, as if the institutionalization, particularly of my father and my mother, had almost disappeared, so that we could now enjoy the life we were living in. Free from the cult, at last. I found true friends in Renee and Lee, and the backfield became our kingdom, a place to play freely, which went some way to healing all the pain that I carried around from never seeing my family, cousins, aunties, grandmas and friends in the cult ever again. I remember one day I started to take more risks, but it was one day too far. We broke into Mr. Belmore's derelict house. It was overgrown. He lived there by himself. As we entered the back room, there was a pickaxe and a spade, and there was still mud on the spade, and the room looked like it had never been changed since the day that Mrs. Belmore went missing. We were told she had left, but we were sure that she'd been buried in the back garden, so we ran for our lives. Senior school was supposed to be a fresh start. But I still had the hard wiring of the cult affecting the way I behaved, which still made me a little bit odd. At least I internalized and thought, outside looking in, that's what people thought of me. But I'd had trauma, and it was starting to impact the way I saw the world. The cult shadow followed me. I was two people, wild and free on the field with boys younger than me, withdrawn and fearful in school from boys who knew me and were my same age. I just couldn't relate. I hid in plain sight, so I trudged through the bottom sets. In school, remember, I wasn't allowed to be properly educated as a very young kid, and this now came back to haunt me. No qualifications, no direction. The cult I had left its mark on me and my confidence. Now the school didn't want me. At 16, I left with nothing, still carrying the pain, but the backfield and my friends reminded me I was still free. But now I had no school to go to. I did not know which road to take, and what was I going to do with my future?